Yes, indeed, it takes up your mind, body, and soul. And all you want to do with something you're that scared of, stay away from it. Phobias typically result in a set of fear and are usually present for more than 6 months. So if there's something that you're scared of for a short period, maybe you eventually get over, necessarily might not qualify as a phobia. But a fear that has lasted with you for, well, what might seem like a lifetime, that's definitely a phobia. I don't know, right? So I'm certain that for you there is something, an extreme or irrational fear. Even though I remember that in school, there were some boys who were literally fearless. I don't know where they got their guts. I don't know what they ate. I don't know what family they came from, how they were raised, but I'm built different. So it results in a rapid onset of fear and usually present for more than 6 months. When a person has a phobia, they often shape their lives to avoid what they consider to be dangerous. They imagine threat is greater than any actual threat posed by the cause of terror. Some people have a fear of heights, a fear of blood, a fear of flying. So this means they never want to confront those things. According to medical news today, and I have to quote this because I'm sure that there are people who would debate orders. That's what they claim it is. So whether or not you agree, well, the ball is in your court. But with all that we know about phobias, with an understanding of this extreme and irrational fear, why would Josiah want us to talk about phobias tonight? Language-related phobia. Apparently, some people have an extreme fear for language in some way, shape, or form. Good evening, Josiah.
Yeah, good evening, Sam. Good evening, River State, Nigeria, the globe, wherever you are looking out from. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon. I greet you all.
Okay, I like that. I like that you identify.
I was actually following up something recently. That's the learning of Tua. It's actually a Ghana word, and you had something like one of their greetings is Akwaba. It's Akwaba to you.
Okay, thank you. Is that Tui?
Yeah, Tui.
Okay, yeah. So Akwaba, thank you very much, Josiah. Thank you. Akwaba to you too. And this Akwaba, what is it? Is it good morning, good afternoon?
Yeah, I think Akwaba is it's not good morning. Good morning is Mekasia.
Mekasia, good morning.
Yeah, that's for good morning.
Okay. So Akwaba is good afternoon.
Akwaba is let's say I forgot it now. I'll go back to the scene.
Oh, there is nothing Google cannot solve.
Google cannot tell us, right?
So what is Akwaba? Okay, just giving me some songs from Ghana. All right. Akwaba means welcome.
Welcome, yeah.
Madasi means thank you.
Thank you.
These are two of the first words that you learn upon arrival in Ghana.
Yeah.
Well, if we're doing this, I'm sure I should be the one telling you Akwaba. Welcome. All right. So, language-related phobia. Why are we having this conversation tonight, Josiah?
Yeah, we have to. And it's important we do because there are a lot of persons that don't know they are phobic when it comes to language. Right. I didn't even know we have a lot of phobias in language until I stumbled at them. And good a thing, not just stumbling at them, I was able to see a gap which I'm feeling tonight and I'll be pushing and creating out a new word for a phobia that we have that people don't know. We need to discuss it because I've noticed, I have seen people drop anxiety when it comes to certain languages.
Okay.
All right, they don't just want to hear it. They don't want to. If I don't even say it. We've been here. I know at one time in the studio, I talked about somebody saying in their house they don't speak their indigenous language. In fact, it's like a taboo speaking the indigenous language because if you try it out, it's in fact don't even think about doing it because it was placed like a red flag. Okay. And that kind of person, by the time you want to speak the indigenous language to the person there's a kind of anxiety or there's kind of fear the person have, speaking the indigenous language because basically he or she doesn't know it, and it creates that kind of fear. It creates, so it becomes a phobia on that person. Unfortunately, the person might not even know it's a phobia, because he may think it's just a way of life, want to defend himself or defend herself. So these are the reasons why it's okay. Let's talk about it, so people begin to understand that they might actually be having phobia in certain languages, and it is good for them to know and start working on it.
Yeah, but how do you have a fear of something without knowing what you fear?
Yeah, so something when it comes to language is natural in a way, and some persons don't see the problem in language as a problem. They just feel it's a way of life. Like, for instance, when growing up and a child is not producing language, or let's say a child is having language delay, okay, so people will just feel like, it's a normal thing. It's the time that the child is growing up, so it's expected. They don't see it as an issue until when it comes to the level it becomes severe. That's when they were like, when the child is 6 years old and have not produced language, you see, it becomes a worry. But when the child is 2 or 1 years old and not giving you what it's supposed to give to you at the time, you will discover that nobody wants to pay attention to it. So same thing happens when it comes to phobia. Because if I speak French and you are having a phobia for French, for instance, you will just want to wipe it off. Stop saying that, I don't like it. It's enough. I've told you stop speaking it. So you close it up, and maybe if I stop speaking it and get to the language you understand, and then we communicate, it's fine. You go your way, I go my way. But oftentimes you keep repeating the same thing anytime you hear that particular language, or anytime you hear that particular sound. You keep doing it. So it's actually a phobia, but you don't know it's a phobia. You just feel is, I don't like the language. I don't want to learn the language. I don't want to speak the language. What is the essence? In fact, whenever you speak the language, it irritates me. So what is the essence? Let it go. Because it's not affecting you physically, in the sense that there is no physical injury, right? It's not creating a kind of physical anxiety, like some persons have phobia for spices. But once there is spice in anything, you see it attacks them, they can even be hospitalized. So the language part is not doing that, and we just feel it's a normal way of life. And that's the reason I am bringing this today, that there are a lot of phobias we need to talk about, a lot of them. I think the few of them that I will talk about, and even the one I'm about creating or I'm about letting out, that is not in dictionary.
Okay. Well, let's see how fortunate you are with your phobia creation. All right, Josiah. So let's start from the ones we know, the already existent language phobias.
Yeah.
I think the first one, which I believe you sent to me,
Yeah.
which I obviously had to look up. Let me see. No, it's not endoglossophobia. It's xenoglossophobia.
Xenoglossophobia, yeah.
Okay. You said it's a fear of sign language.
No, xenoglossophobia is a fear for foreign language.
Or foreign language.
Yeah, the fear for foreign language. So there are some persons that have this fear. If you have a lot of foreign languages, right? And let me also state this, that even in a country like Nigeria, okay, I speak Ubuminikore. Igbo or Hausa is a foreign language because it's not the language from my nativity, right? So if I have that fear, if I have that anxiety, if I have that irritation, if I have that worry whenever these languages are spoken, okay, then I am having phobia on them. Okay. Now, I know some people will be like, but Josiah, I shouldn't learn every language. It's not a must I should learn every language. Yes, it's true, you shouldn't learn every language. But it doesn't mean that because you don't know a language or you don't want to learn a language, then there should be an irritation, or there should be a kind of worry, anxiety whenever that language is spoken. I've had a lot of persons, well, not a lot of persons, I've had some persons that will say that, look, I don't want to hear a particular language. Don't even bring it close to me. Because they just feel that this language is they will tell you it's difficult, but that's not the truth. Even when you tell them, okay, learn it for free, they won't want to learn it. They are ready to learn every other language, but not that particular language. And you begin to ask why. Simple. They have phobia for it. Now, there are a lot of persons also that they are ready to learn. They are ready to learn French. They are ready to learn Dutch, but when it comes to Chinese, don't even try. So that's what we call xenoglossophobia, and I need to explain it. So xeno actually means foreign, right? Glosso means speaking, and then phobia literally means fear. So when we say xenoglossophobia, we are not referring to the fear of speaking or learning foreign languages.
Okay. Now, Josiah, it is important that we can differentiate between fear and hatred.
Yeah, of course.
It is possible that the reaction of the persons that you've used as examples while making your point are simply expressing hate for a language and not fear for it.
Yeah, so you see, that's the thing, because sometimes you might not differentiate the timeline between hate and fear. But when your hatred continues, just like you said, what they specify 6 months, okay? Now, when your hatred continues for 6 months, for 3 months, for that particular language, then it's phobia. You might not accept it, but it's phobia. Because if it is hatred for a language, come on now, a time will come where you need to just relax. You don't need to learn the language. You don't need to understand the language. But why is it that whenever that language is spoken, you will always, as we said, Chris, and you even said something. I think that's even one of the effects of phobia. So it could lead to hatred to that particular language. And that's what we are saying.
Yeah, but you see, Josiah, hatred is effect. It is always effect. When somebody says, I hate this, the next thing you ask rather, is what happened?
Mm-hmm.
Because everybody believes something led to that,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
If I see someone walking past and I say, Josiah, I hate this guy,
Mm-hmm.
what you ask is, what did the guy do you?
Yeah, true.
Right?
Yeah.
Because we believe that hatred is always a function of something.
Mm-hmm.
However, fear might not be the function of something.
Fear could be an emotional expression. Exactly. And that fear could actually lead to hatred when it comes to language.
No, hold on, wait. I need to, while I'm not disputing the concepts, I mean, we can literally see on screen xenoglossophobia, also termed foreign language anxiety.
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
So
exactly.
This is an actual phobia.
Yeah.
However, I want to be sure that we are not misplacing a person's hatred for a language for their fear of it.
No. So we are not at all. Let me cite a very simple example. There are people that maybe because of their hatred of a particular tribe, they hate the language.
Yeah, there are countless examples.
Countless examples.
You have people who have told their daughters, don't marry from Igbo.
Exactly.
You know.
And then imagine if the daughter comes speaking Igbo. That's crazy.
It doesn't take too much these days. Just go to court. The procedure is quite simple. It's not we don't stress ourselves these days. Go ahead.
Yeah. So you say the person will express that hatred.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Now, but when it goes to where the person doesn't want to, not just about hatred now, doesn't want to have anything with the language, even when he or she has maybe mellowed down with the hatred and the language is being spoken, you see the person expressing anxiety. You see this person, some go to a far of shivering. Yeah.
These people are there in Nigeria.
So some go as far as shivering when the language is spoken or when you force a person to speak that particular language. Now that person is expressing phobia. That person is expressing phobia. That's just the thing. But again, now one of the defense mechanisms for such persons is the part of the hatred. So they comes with that attacking form just to shut you up. The challenge in linguaphobia, which is one of them, okay, is the fact that we do not have a physical effect. When I mean physical effect is that you are not being rushed to the hospital at the time it's happening. You are not falling shaking your body for people to like, hey, which kind of thing? That is not happening to you. But everything is happening inside. It's happening in your head, in your mind. It's happening in your emotions. So people don't see the pain you're going through. And people don't even understand that you are actually going through. And funny enough, even you don't even know that you're going through that situation.
Okay. Now, Josiah, as a younger person, there were things I did not believe happened to us. And by us, I mean Africans/Nigerians. I didn't believe that we could be depressed.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't believe that we could have allergies.
Mm-hmm.
And I did not believe that we had phobias.
Yeah.
Right? Whenever I hear these things, I already automatically say, listen at Oyibotin.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But now that I'm older, thanks to enlightenment, education, and all of that, of course, we do get depressed. It's a mental health issue, right? So it's a human thing.
Yeah.
Right? We have allergies. You speak to people in the medical field, they tell you, yes, a lot of people come down with allergic reactions.
Yeah.
They're allergic to this and that. Maybe then we did not see it as allergy. We just, felt something was wrong with the person.
Exactly.
The phobia part is the part that is not very easy to swallow.
Mm-hmm.
The reason is this extreme fear. Sometimes your environment conditions you to not be scared of some things.
Yeah.
Right? Now, while, yes, people have their fears, there is something about Nigerianness that will not let you be afraid of some things. Because if you look at the list of phobias there are in the world, you'll be shocked at what some people are scared of. Some people are scared of water.
True.
Some are scared of light.
Light, yeah.
There are so many phobias imagine somebody being scared of something that is basic to human survival. You're scared of water. How do you bathe?
How do you bathe, yeah.
How do you drink water?
Mm-hmm.
Right? So, I don't see any Nigerian on that particular table. You see that? Is it Phil? Oh, I'll check. I'll look it up. For me,
Xenoglossophobia.
No, the one of light. For me, I don't see a Nigerian. Right? And this is not me trying to be biased or racist. It just you can't be scared of water as a Nigerian. It's not. It doesn't work. Your parents will beat the evil spirit out of you.
I'm scared of Nipa.
That's the thing. So while yes, I'm sure that there are people who definitely have a phobia here and there, which we may or may not have discovered. Talking about the fear of foreign languages, yes, you could have people who have that. They express mild, levels of anxiety.
Yeah.
However, to imagine that a person has a full-blown reaction to a foreign language being spoken around them is difficult.
Yeah, no, so you said something. Is phobia when it comes to language starts gradually. You just said it now. You could have a mild reaction, mild anxiety about a language. And then the mild anxiety, if it's not worked upon, it just keep growing. The more you just keep going gradually. And then it comes to a point where you don't want that language come close to you. That's the challenge like I said, when it comes to language, it's difficult to even know when the person started having that phobia, because it's not something that have the physical reaction like several phobias that we know. Okay, some persons can see spices and you're seeing them choking. they are rushing them to the hospital. But for language, come on, it's something you hear, you speak. So it doesn't actually show up the same way. And that's the problem or challenge with language, in the sense that a lot of language issues don't appear the same way like other physical or medical issues. So that's why it might not be seen. But gradually, the more you keep allowing it to grow, the more you keep saying, see, this language, I just don't want to hear it. I just don't want anything to do with it. If anytime they speak it, I just get irritated. Okay? It's phobia. But it's mild at the time because it's a gradual process. But it could come to a point where you don't even want anybody around you to speak that language. It has grown. It might not affect you physically, but it has grown. That's the thing when it comes to language phobias.
We'll be moving to the next phobia shortly, but I really would like to hear from you. This is a concept that is not easy.
Yeah, it's not.
For me to accept. I want to know where you stand, sit, or lay on this. Do you believe that there are Nigerians who have a fear of foreign language? That's one. Two, are you a person who has a fear of a foreign language? Is there a particular foreign language that is not very easy for you to speak or to use? Or, whenever you hear that language, you feel uneasy. Or do you know someone, right? I would like to get to the bottom of this. Xenoglossophobia. Spelled with an X.
Yes.
Right? The same way they spell xenophobia.
Xeno, yeah.
So XENOGLOSSO and
then phobia.
So 0817-923-0002. Please turn off your radio as you call me. Hello, good evening. Turn off your radio, please. Good evening. Evening. What's your name? All right, Spice. Please go ahead.
makes their place to fear to the land. They happen, yeah. It's always the best. Only the Americans that are good. That is good people. And they are always the alpha. Yes, they're always the good guys. Yeah, exactly. From everywhere else. Mm-hmm. The South side is always the military. Yo, that is propaganda. Are you kidding me right now? The Chinese is always they're always the most. Yeah, no, yeah, the most. The monastery, they don't do anything, just sit down and yeah. Exactly. And the student that were avenged. Okay, the master. And the funniest part is that the person must go to the forest. Yes. To spend some time. Yeah, spend some time. And another master will come. Yes. Come on. Meditate and do all of that. So the Americans are always come. They are always come. Yeah. And there's an alien invasion. It's always New York. Mm-hmm. They always have to come for us. Come on. That's about. And serious. So I mean, now that Spike mentions it, it's true. It's true. A person could grow up being genuinely scared of Arabic. Yeah. Canada is in a city, by the way. Hello, Canada. How you doing? So what language are you? I don't know if scared of, but when you're a bit cautious of, you know. So Canada just like the studio. That's all I need. Right? I give him value. Okay. So 08179230002. The Chinese are associated with counterfeit products. Not the China of today. You know, saying, what is the fear of foul? What is the fear of foul that I don't believe that before? Because that's what my fear is fearing. Just like a man done. I feel like on your own, I can tell you that's a truth. Even if my experience, no one gets scared from water in the bucket or cup. It's scared due to large volume of water, like sea or ocean. No, that's okay. So look that up. Right? It's not that it's a fear of water generally. So we'll keep taking a thought. 08179230002. Xenoglossophobia. That's a mouthful. Xenoglossophobia is the fear of foreign languages. Yeah. You know a person who has it. You have it. Call me and tell me. Hello, good evening. Good evening. What's your name? Old Emmanuel. Hello? Is that Old Emmanuel? Okay. Hey, Emmanuel, please go ahead. Mm. 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 everybody. Yeah.
And I remember the person was really scared, right? He was very afraid. So I can imagine what it was like for a person who lived in Kaduna at the time.
Yeah.
And it was the religious, oh my goodness, the very terrible. Person from the field telling me, Kaduna has had quite a history about those kinds of,
Okay.
yes, happening once, twice, a couple of times. But yeah, I can understand why this guy would have that phobia.
Mm-hmm.
Sense of trauma from that experience. Hello, good evening. Hello, good evening. What's your name? Good evening. What's your name? Marvel, how are you doing? All right. Talk to me.
Yep.
That's how you roll. Thanks. You're very cool. Okay. Okay. You're listening. Yeah, I think it's a time. I imagine it earlier. No, no, no. You're on radio, please. Hey, hold on, hold on. Hello, 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 hello. Listen, you can make that point without using the word. We are on radio. Please take it back. It's not fit for broadcast. So I get the point. Thank you very much. Thank you for that comment. I apologize for the language. Now, there is such a thing as xenoglossophobia. The reason why I spelled it, the reason why we're saying the word, is so you can do your own research as well.
Yeah.
Right? So look up the word yourself and do a little reading. Just you don't have to read through, or you don't have to go down. Just type in the word xenoglossophobia. XENAGLOSSO and phobia. PHOBIA. It is anxiety, foreign language anxiety. So it's a fear. Now, how this translates is the argument, right? I'm having conversations with Josiah as to whether you are mistaking fear for hatred.
Mm-hmm.
But we are not arguing whether xenoglossophobia exists. We are arguing about the implementation of it, the
Yeah.
expression.
Yeah.
Whether we are looking at people who just hate it and think that they fear it. So it's important to make that position clear. But over to you, Josiah.
Yeah, I think that's just it. The two callers before the last one just made it plain and clear that you could actually have fear for foreign language. And
All right. We're going to WhatsApp shortly. So comments on WhatsApp 08009030676. That is the WhatsApp number. The number to call 08179236802. So the fear of foreign languages. Now, in fact, is this the fear of a particular foreign language or any foreign language?
well, it depends on the person. Yeah, if a person can actually have fear for, like for instance, maybe let me use those as a code, right? They have a fear for Arabic and the other for Hausa, but they might not have fear for either French or maybe for any other language in Nigeria that is not their native language. So it's not really that it's a particular language, it depends on the person. Yeah.
All right. And so how must the person overcome this fear?
Yeah, so there are a lot of ways you can overcome the fear. First, and that's again one of the things you need to do when it comes to the one that we exposed in the shortest, right? Um, one of the ways to expose is just to develop it. Okay. First, identify that you actually have phobia for that language, for that particular language. That's the first thing you need to do. You need to identify that yes, truly I have fear for that. And then secondly, the next thing you need to do is to now work on yourself to develop interest on it. And then when you develop the interest, you have to go for learning if you want to learn a language. Or sometimes you even lead you to going through a kind of behavioral shift to another language. So that's where you now look at a therapy, speech therapy that will help you to say, okay, this is where you're missing it, this is the issue you are having, then adjust it. For some persons that maybe started because of, excuse me, for some person maybe it started because of an event, a psychological event, then you could now contact a psychologist that could help you throughout that emotional stress and get it out. That's some of the ways you can work on it.
All right, so going from one phobia to another, we progress gets more unbelievable. The next one, I have no idea why it even exists. As you said, I've actually looked it up and yes, I, I wish I can find someone. It's linguaphobia, the fear of language itself.
Hmm.
The fear of language. How does a person fear the primary means of human communication? Let me take this call. Hello, good evening. Good evening, what's your name? All right, you go ahead. Now, if it is not part of the conversation, please, we don't want to be derailed. Very quickly. Yes, please, but please keep it brief. Yes, yes, yes. Very quickly. Okay. Um, have you complained to your bank? Okay. So again, please, I'm trying to ensure that we don't take too much of our time and we digress. So first of all, they have told you, okay, so please, you have gone to the bank, they have told you someone is tampering with your account, they've given you a picture, they told you where to go and report. So what you will do is you have to follow it up from where they said to go and complain. A couple of things you can do: find a way to send a message either via email or Twitter or any official platform to CBN, because CBN is the body that regulates banks. Secondly, reach out to FCCPC, that's the Consumer Protection. These agencies are responsible for holding banks accountable and lay your complaint. If and when you do that, hopefully there is a follow-up. All right.
Then create your account.
Yeah,
That's it.
yes, something has to. Oh my God, I'm sick. out. That's as much help as we can. But he has complained, and according to him, they've given him a few steps. So he could follow that. If he doesn't yield anything, then escalate it to the senior. All right. So linguaphobia.
Yeah. So for linguaphobia, generally is just a fear of language. Generally. Okay. So it's not like it's not like language in means of communication. No. So for instance, whoever there is a xenoglossophobia, right, is also experiencing linguaphobia. That's the thing. So it's not like there's it's a fear of language as an entity. So I know because that's where you're getting your the issues from. So how can somebody be afraid of language, means of communication? But of course, let's break it down. You know, in language we have two parts basically. We have the verbal and the non-verbal. All right, and then the non-verbal has to do with when we talk about the sign language and all of that. So it also if I have phobia rather for sign language, now I'm also expressing linguaphobia.
A form of linguaphobia.
Yes, a form of linguaphobia, exactly.
So linguaphobia is a general term
For
the phobia
or
of any kind of
any
language.
yes, any kind of language someone is afraid of
So
or has fear.
it's not possible that the person is afraid of all languages.
No, you can't be afraid of all languages. You can't be. How can you be? You know they talk.
Well, I know someone, I think in the early years of meeting this person, they expressed a genuine fear for all languages. They didn't even want to communicate with me.
And so how would the person communicate with you?
I had to walk myself. I was really tired. His name is Kalada.
Exactly.
You know, this guy is really getting he probably holds hard facts. I have no idea how he does it. But it is what it is. Okay, so the different levels of language phobia, the different expressions of it. All under the umbrella of
Linguaphobia. Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so we move from that. That cannot wait to drop his own phobia. Lagzida.
Laxitodolophobia. Laxitodolophobia.
Let someone else else and think that we are crazy. You know, believe it or not, yeah, I know. I want to come back to Nigerian food. I'm ready.
Laxitodolophobia.
Hold on. Lagzida.
Tilophobia.
Lagzidactylophobia.
Yeah.
This is the fear of sign language.
Sign language. Yeah. So is what we will call the finger spelling.
Why will a person be afraid of sign? What is wrong with people? Seriously, what is wrong with people? Why will a person be afraid of sign language? Like why? Does it look like gang sign? Does it look like No. Let's have this conversation. Let us have this conversation. As a human being that has sense, you know that there is non-verbal communication. You know that there are people who rely on this form of communication, you know, to get messages and to send messages. So why would you have a fear?
Well, the thing is, there are some persons that just prefer you writing to them instead of doing those finger things. So they just prefer don't just write. So you write, give to them, they read, and then they write back to you since you can't hear them. Right. So when you want to do those signs, it gets them like just like the colors game. Some of them could actually be from maybe experiences. Maybe yes. And they thought that just going to my head.
No,
maybe maybe Sam.
I can't allow myself to understand this one. I'm serious. I honestly can't. It cannot sit well with me. It can't. I know sign language goes beyond actually trying to communicate with the person who's challenged.
Yeah.
Even between you and I can.
Yeah, we use that.
Yeah, I can use my hands to just signal something.
Yeah.
And you understand what it means, right? Right now in Nigeria, if you need a person to come towards you, right, you want to tell them come without
You
using
just
the word.
you
Yeah,
just
we know
wave
how.
your hand.
Yeah, you just do this.
Yeah. But again, let's not forget that we say finger spelling. That's another thing
Leave
about
the
it.
finger spelling first. Leave that finger spelling. Josiah, you know, say if you dey far and I see you, if you are too far to hear what I say, one
Yeah.
of the things I can do is to wave
Is to
you.
wave, yeah, and then
You understand?
put
So I
up your
wave
hands,
how
yeah.
far, or you self go receive the thing, wave back.
Wave back, yeah.
So you're telling me that if I see you now, you have this speaking in tongues phobia. Wait, let me call
Like
it again.
this.
Like something phobia. So I wave you and I say, no,
Lexidactylophobia.
Hey, now, wow. No, this is wrong. This is wrong. This is wrong.
But it's unfortunate. That's the level we've come to. That some persons just have phobia for certain things. Literally, they are not supposed to, but what do we say?
I have a very strong feeling that the agenda that we have tonight will make a lot of sense in the US, the UK, and Canada.
Are you?
Take this topic outside Nigeria. Right here in Nigeria, I refuse to believe that we can relate. I literally refuse to believe, especially with this last one. You understand? They're not born anybody. They're not born anybody well. Here in Nigeria, that our parents even use sign.
But they
She said, no, daddy, please don't do that. I have a fear of sign language. No, it's not. No, it doesn't work. It just cannot work. But hey, I could be proven wrong. If you have a fear of sign language, you know someone who does, please call and help us. Josiah will shortly explain the finger spelling part of the conversation. 0817923 Laxidactylophobia,
yeah.
which is spelled LAXIDACTYLO
And then phobia.
So Laxidactylophobia, fear of finger spelling or sign language. Hello. Good evening. I'm struggling to hear you. Please speak up. Yes, I can. Yeah, brother, all of us fear that sign language. Oh my goodness.
Oh God.
My brother.
I love Nigerians.
That's a good fear.
I love Nigerians.
Hello. Good evening. All right, go ahead. Okay. Mm. Mm. Yeah. So, are you married? Are you in a relationship? Do you intend to marry her? Are you sure? Mm-hmm. Okay. Now, is she? Yeah. Okay. Now, is she everything that you want in a woman? Okay, good. Now, let's imagine that she is the one for you. She's everything you prayed for, right? She's everything. She's educated. She has money. She loves you. But she said, honey, I have a fear of sign language. Would that be enough for you to not marry her? For Just for
sign language.
I don't think you are serious, young man. You don't want to marry that girl. You are looking for an excuse to run away. No. You can send a text message, right? You can call on the phone. Is it? Yeah, but why will people want to come and kill you? What are you? Are you a danger? What are you doing that they want to kill you? Mm. Yeah, this is not very funny. Yeah. Don't worry, there will be no war. Once people marry, it will be a peaceful country. Nothing. Yeah, he's too. So, phobia is spelled L-E, not L-A.
Okay, L-E.
Yeah, for the misspelling. L-E-X-I-D-A. And it goes on and on. Hello? All right, Emmanuel, go ahead. Who?
Whoa.
Are you sure? And now it's not a fear of signs in general. It's the fear of the signs that you guys were given. The reason say when I be dangerous boys. Okay. True. Well, I agree. It's how some boys will be around you, the way they shake each other.
They shake each other. Maka, they come on here.
My lexidactylophobia. Hello? Good evening. Hello? Yeah, we can hear you. Good evening. Evening. For over 2 years.
Wow.
That's since 2021. No, my brother, wait. You cannot just let's talk about your efforts. Since 2021, you've been trying to call us, and you and you did not give up.
Wow.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Welcome. We hope it doesn't take another 2 years. Please go ahead. Okay. Yeah. 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 I understand. Yeah. Okay. Okay. I can understand it. Yeah. Thanks. It definitely relates. Of course, you are scared of that particular sign, but it is a kind of sign.
Mm-hmm.
Indeed, it is. All right, Josiah. We have a comment here. Good evening, Oracle and Josiah. I don't think I have fear for any language. If I would have, it will be for the language spoken by the Bushman in the movie The Girls Must Be Crazy.
God.
I can't from the photo. That right there is a classic. That movie is the truth. Oh my goodness. Yeah, this guy don't kind of go no. Okay. So we have talked about xenoglossophobia.
Yeah.
We talked about linguaphobia.
Yeah.
And now lexidactylophobia. It's one that you need to talk about.
Exactly.
That is not a phobia yet. But you want to
it is a phobia.
Okay.
It's a concept that's been known. It's been happening. A lot of persons have that issue, but the thing is, there have not been a word for it. Okay, there have not been a word for it. They actually subsumed it into linguaphobia, right? But I looked at it this morning while making research on it, and I discovered that people have this issue. In fact, I'll share the story I got online, which a lot of persons have also. Right. So we had this Chinese guy. While I was going on, I saw it in Korea.com. I saw this Chinese guy that said that he's afraid of speaking his own mother tongue, native language.
Chinese guy.
Yeah, and the dialect is Mandarin. Exactly. In fact, it's something that we feature. After now, I'll push up the article about what I'm about stating up right now into my blog, so you could go read up everything. Now, he said that he's afraid of it. He doesn't want to hear it. And he started when he was quite young, but when he was kindergarten. He said that whenever they speak Mandarin to him at that level, it irritates him and it gets him like scared. So he grew up with it for a long time. But somehow, according to what he later said, that although he later was diagnosed with autism, so he doesn't know if that's the reason why he's having issue with his own native language. Unfortunately, I couldn't get to him. Maybe I will try and do that to ask him more questions. What about other languages? Maybe like the Chinese, apart from Mandarin, did you also get to have same feeling? But the point here is that he was afraid of his own mother tongue, his own native language.
You know why this is disturbing? Because Asians in general, particularly China, they are very native. They are very cultural.
Exactly, they are very cultural. Right? They are very native. So I was shocked myself when I saw the story, and I'm like, what? So you could see his name spelled in Chinese. So it's not like it's somebody that just came up and is saying it because he wanted to. No, you could see that yes, this was a story, a life story. In fact, he said that he noticed that the question at the time was asked for a long time. I hope what he's about sharing will be seen, and then he dropped it. And that situation is also happening over here in our country. There are a lot of persons that have fear for their own native language, native dialect, but unfortunately they don't know it's actually a phobia. Okay. We talked about the family that said, okay, don't speak the language. Now it will start that way. Don't speak the language. I want you to learn English. But before you know what is happening, this person becomes anxious, becomes afraid of speaking the language in the future. And whenever you even speak the language, you see the person somehow shivering or not being having unease whenever the language is spoken, and it doesn't want to stay around that environment where the language is spoken. See, that person now has started developing phobia for the indigenous language. Yeah, so I think maybe that's the reason why they for a long time they have not looked at it, because maybe they've not seen examples or so. But I have seen a lot of persons, some persons rather, having this, doing this, having that fear for native language. They don't speak it. In fact, I don't know how to put it. They just don't want to associate themselves with the native language. They just don't want to. But if you bring it up, it's a problem. If you speak it, they get irritated. They get uneasy about it. They get worried about it. They just want to push you away. Their own indigenous language, and it's a challenge. So I find out that there was no word to express those set of persons, and that's why I came up with the word that I shared to you, which if you already can hit it up.
Okay. So, what is the word, Josiah?
Yeah, so the word, just like when you have the xenoglossophobia, so the word is endoglossophobia.
And how did you come about this?
I will tell you. Endoglossophobia. Endo is spelled ENDO, and then, of course, glosso, GLOSSO, and then phobia. Now, how did I come about this? Is simple. Excuse me. When I did the research on these phobias, right, and I discovered that there was xenoglossophobia, and in the Greek word, I have the xeno actually means foreign, or something strange, and then glosso actually means tongue in Greek, which is not translated as speaking, and phobia, of course, has to do with fear. Right. I now decided to look up for a word that could match the fear of the indigenous language or somebody speaking indigenous language. And I discovered that there was no word. So I decided to now go further to bring out my own and see how it will work. So I did an Indophobia, which is a INDO. And I found that it's actually a suggestion right now to Collins Dictionary, and it's the fear of Indians. Okay. So, which means if it is a fear of Indians, it means it's a word that is being used, but they have not been included in the dictionary yet. So I now decided to look out for the word endophobia, which is the ENDO, and phobia. Okay. And I found out that the phobia in this word is spelled as FOBIA, not with the PH, okay. All right, which actually means the fear of your native people. So you are afraid of your own native people. So when I looked at that, I said, fine. I looked at the word endo, what it means, the root word, and I discovered that the root word of endo actually means within in Greek or in, but literally it means me, right? So all I did was to now do a coinage. So I added the endo, which means me, and then the glosso, which is speaking, and then the phobia. So it becomes that simple definition of endoglossophobia is the fear of speaking the indigenous or native language. But a broader definition will go as saying that it is the unease, one, the apprehension, the worry, the anxiety expressed when speaking or using the indigenous language.
Are you hoping that this coinage of yours catches on?
Yeah, of course it will, because there are a lot of examples, and that's one of the things I also want people to share, not be afraid of. It doesn't mean that you are bad if you are having that. It's because an emotion or something that have happened to you, maybe because of experiences that you've gone and you've gotten to that level. It doesn't mean that you will not overcome it, right? So this word endoglossophobia, which has to do with the fear of speaking the indigenous language, will definitely go far. In fact, it has to. There is no word expressing that concept. And we are having an example from China, which we know are really culture oriented. They love their language. And talk about the Nigerian setting. If you talk about the old times, it might not have, so because you will hardly see people afraid of their own indigenous language. But talk about the recent development where people don't want to even associate themselves with their language. Then you understand that it's something that will definitely go far.
Okay, so just like your attempt at making pidgin English an official language, which you obviously have not achieved at this point.
Who told you? Hawaii have
Uh-huh.
have made it an official language.
Okay.
So if Hawaii have done that, then it's gradually coming.
Okay, there's no problem. We're waiting. So let's see how this word actually catches on. But what are some of the reasons? Because all night we have talked about some people who had what might seem like valid reasons to maybe fear sign language or fear a language in particular. Are there peculiar reasons why Africans and maybe Nigerians are actually scared of their own language or do not want to associate with their own people?
Yeah. So there are some of the reasons are just like what we keep saying, that the language is not economical. Right? It doesn't have that flair for what I would call business. Right? So you see people don't want to associate themselves with it just because they feel misconceptions. I will tell you, they feel that the language is not viable economically. It doesn't go far. It's not also that it's not recognized globally. You only speak it around the region where you're from. And some person will want to have that misconception that if you associate yourself with the language, you might not be able to now learn English. Okay, so they just have that this thing to say, okay, ban the language, learn English, and then go back to the language. But unfortunately, it doesn't happen like that sometimes. You see this, the child now grows up with English and don't want to associate himself with the indigenous language. I've seen a lady, a child rather, that came out from the village. He was speaking the language very well. But over time, he stayed in a place where the people that were training him do not know how to speak the language. So basically, she was exposed to English. And I talk to you, in less than a year plus, she lost her ability of speaking the indigenous language. Yeah. This one was physical. I knew the family. And she lost that ability of speaking the indigenous language. It became difficult for her because she was not exposed to it any longer. Right. So that kind of a person, if she grows up in that environment and continues that way, and then begin to have this misconception that after all, what does the language give to you? After all, you don't have anything to achieve with the language. You see, that becomes a situation in her head that can lead to endophobia at the long run.
Okay. A message on WhatsApp reads, "Good evening. I'm one of them with the language fear. My parents hardly speak our native language. When I was a child, visited my hometown only twice for almost 2 decades. Now I'm grown and I've started learning gradually and forcing them to speak our dialect during most conversations. Most of these issues are from parents, so no, they try at all." All right, thank you very much. We're getting to the very end of this conversation. 0817923002. Do you know a person who has a fear of their own language?
Yeah, native language.
Their own, not another person's. Their native language. They don't speak it. They have a fear of it. Please call me and tell me. 0817923002. Turn off your radio as you call. Hello? Please turn off your radio. Oh my. Yeah, hello, good evening. The number. The number 13. Why is that? My brother. Okay. So, yeah, sure. I'm not. Okay. You don't be now. Okay. So, do you know anyone with a fear of their own language? Okay. Okay.
Mr. Lawson. Okay.
Uh-uh.
Yeah. Uh-huh. He pretends as if he doesn't know you, right?
Yeah, I mean, it
Yeah.
might be, but does he have problem with his people? Did they offend him? Did they?
Yeah.
Is
So
there?
fantastic.
Oh, wow, it's kind of wahala be all this one. My brother, take am easy, oh. Take am easy. Okay. Okay. So I will look it up. Fear of the number 13. Okay. Thank you very much for calling. All right.
So that's what you're talking about. Oh, again, maybe an issue with the people could actually, maybe he's actually having endophobia, and then from there he enter into endoglossophobia. You know, it happens.
Okay. Yeah, I've looked it up. Triskaidekaphobia, the fear and avoidance of number 13. This problem. Hello. Good evening. We're struggling. Please speak up. Okay. Go ahead.
Is it Solomon, right? I didn't get that. Come again, please.
You're not afraid of your language, but you hate it. Why?
Hmm.
Wait, hold on. Did you say the level of negativity?
Endoglossophobia.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Mm.
Well, before you go, please. Owere. Okay.
Mm. Okay. Mm.
Hmm. Thank you very much.
Wow.
Yeah, so you see, it's been going on. We have a lot of examples. And okay, and I will say this before I forget. Please, after now, in case you've been trying, you are not getting to us, and you want to share your story, I have an email. You could just send your story to me, please. Um, I I'll ask for your permission if you want me to use it for my article, but just send your story to me at contact.languagesense@gmail.com. Contact.languagesense@gmail.com. Please just share a brief story about it, and we will continue from there. I think we have a caller.
All right, we're getting to the end of the conversation. Call back if you can, 0817 923 0002.
So he's saying that he's afraid of it because of the negativity and the way it sounds.
Say it like said he hates.
Yeah, the hate, yeah.
Hello? Good evening. What's your name? All right, go ahead.
Aha. Aha.
So besides her anger, she never spoke the language around you?
Yeah.
Hey.
And
So how did you get over it?
yeah, fantastic. I like that.
Okay. So can you speak Igbo now?
Yeah, but it's fine. You started speaking gradually, I guess. That's fantastic.
So, but
thumbs up.
if a person speaks to you, would you understand what they're saying?
Obere.
Okay, okay. Well, I'm glad you're making progress. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Wow, that is something.
Yeah, it is. So you see that there are a lot of examples, and endoglossophobia is actually the right word for it.
Oh, no. It's a word that you have come up with. You are hoping it gets adopted.
No, it will. I have that belief it
So
will.
when it is adopted, we will officially. I mean, this lady's story just. I would never have imagined a case like this. Hello, good evening. Good evening. What's your name? Please turn off your radio. It's still on. Yeah. Go ahead. Alexander, all right? Go ahead. Okay.
Yeah, endoglossophobia.
So that's why people are scared of their own languages? Okay. Well, I understand. I disagree, but I understand. Hello? Good evening. What's your name? All right, Gabriel, please go ahead. Uh, mm-hmm.
Mm.
Okay.
What language is this? Yoruba, okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Lingua,
Mm.
yeah.
Okay. Hmm. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Mm.
Okay.
Wow. Fantastic.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you,
Thank you
Jiro.
very much.
Even though what you described was not necessarily a phobia, you just didn't understand your language initially. You eventually learned. But thanks for sharing. Hello. Good evening. What's your
Yeah.
name? All right. Here, please go ahead. Okay.
Mm. Mm.
Okay.
Mm.
Mm. Mm.
Mm. Mm.
Mm. Mm. Thank you
Thank
very
you very
much.
much.
Okay. Josiah?
Yeah. So, endoglossophobia is the word I'm putting up out there for this situation. Where people are afraid of speaking their own indigenous language. And when we talk about language, we're also looking at dialect inclusive. Okay. So, but what I will plead with you, listeners, please, I beg of you, help me. Let's achieve this together. On your platforms, I will drop the meaning. The meaning is very simple. A simple endoglossophobia in the simplest form is the fear of speaking one's native or indigenous language. The fear of speaking one's native or indigenous language. So all you need to do is put the word there, endoglossophobia, and then put the meaning, and all you have to do is just to put the hashtag language health, hashtag language sense. That's all. Please, on your platforms, let's make it popular so that people will get to know what it is. And I'll be sharing my platform where we'll also put up the article I've written for it. just grab the first article for it, and I will share it on my blog. You can go read it up and understand it better. And we just talk about it. We just need to talk about it. It is a situation, and if people don't know about it, it will continue to be. There's need for us to know about it and work on it, please.
All right, thank you very much, Josiah. For those who would like to connect with you, how can they do that?
Yeah, so to connect with me, I have a Facebook page, Language Sense. Facebook page, Language Sense. Please just like it, and we will continue to talk about endoglossophobia and other language issues. Facebook page, Language Sense. I have a blog, and it's simple: www.languagehealth.blogspot.com. languagehealth.blogspot.com. After now, between now and this time tomorrow, I would have put up the article so you could go read it up, okay? And for Twitter for now is at megastarjec. Jec is spelled JEC. For those that couldn't call in, or maybe you try calling in and we didn't get to pick your calls, or maybe the network did not allow you to, you could still share your story with me. Please just mail me, send me an email, and the email address is contact.languagesense@gmail.com. contact.languagesense@gmail.com. Your story will help me to put up a robust article about this concept and see how we can send it out for the world to know that there is, or there should be, a word called endoglossophobia, which actually means the fear of speaking one's own indigenous language. Just your boy, Josiah Egbilika, of course, making language sense.
Okay. Thank you very much, Josiah. Let's see how far your word goes. Have yourself a wonderful night, sir.
Yeah, so I have to start from you too. In your blog, you put it endoglossophobia.
Well, it depends. I will think about it.
Please do and put it up.
Okay, that's not a problem. All right, thank you very much. Coming up next, we still have important conversations to have, and you need to be a part of it. Okay, stay with me. Oh my. How many percent is your food?
Yeah, let me round it up.